Now, I understand that I've been talking to Mayetta a lot, and I've been reading the newspaper about you, and you are a World War II veteran of D-Day, is that right?
Yeah.
D-Day in 1944.
1934,
44.
44.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I understand that you were born in Carroll County, is that right?
Right.
And that what was it like in Carroll County when you were growing up?
What?
When you were growing up, what was it like in Carroll County?
Well, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
A little rough, maybe sometime, but all right.
What did you do? How did you play?
I was farming a little bit.
Farming a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had a cow or two?
Sir?
You had a cow?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had about everything. Cabbage was most.
Cabbage, yeah.
Corn.
Corn?
Potatoes.
Potatoes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something to eat, you know.
Something to eat. And so you were there in Carroll County, and I understand you went up to about the 7th grade, is that right? How far did you go in school?
It wasn't far. Wasn't quarter mile to school there where we went. Most old men and women and children, everything in that school. That Delton School.
Delton School?
Yeah, Delton, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, you worked? You worked in the fields?
Yeah.
And what did you do when you were working?
I was working in cabbage there and a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're corn, potatoes, everything was going pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I understand you got into the Army, right?
Yeah.
And how did that happen?
Sir,
How did it happen that you got into the Army?
well, I went to the CC camp.
You went to the CC camp first.
Yeah. I went to, come out of there and went to West Virginia,
Uh-huh.
went in the mines.
So you were in the mines in West Virginia, too.
And I come back and decided to go to the Army.
You decided to go into the Army.
Yeah, I volunteered for,
Volunteered.
yeah.
And you made it, what was your final rank in the Army?
Staff sergeant.
You made it to Staff Sergeant.
When I got through and got my certificate,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And so, now I understand you went over, you had to go overseas on the Queen Mary, the ship.
Yeah.
And I was looking at a Smithsonian film yesterday about the Queen Mary. And they talked about it being the gray ghost.
Yeah.
What was it like to be on the Queen Mary?
Well, on D-Day, I had to help the 29th Division on the whole beach.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on the first bell. I went in on D-Day and had to help. We lost a lot of men, young men.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you were young yourself.
Yeah, but I went through it and didn't get a scratch.
You didn't get a scratch.
No,
And I understand you were in artillery, but you didn't get your artillery there.
no,
Your ship sank, your landing ship. LST? Were you on a LST
yeah,
and it got sunk? It got hit? Is that true?
yeah,
And then you had to hold your rifle high?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so you were on Omaha Beach, and there were a lot of people unfortunately killed, right?
Aye.
But you got up there, and now, as I understand it, you were in charge of these people that were going to do artillery. Is that true?
Yeah,
You were as a staff sergeant.
yeah,
And that as you were doing this, what was it like? What was the water like?
what?
Water. You were on the beach. What was the water like?
Well, we was walking on water about there. Well, on D-Day, we was picked to make the invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, over in England. We had 20 months in England.
20 months in England before D-Day
Yeah. Yeah, to get ready.
to get ready.
Yeah.
And what did you do to get ready?
Well, we're going out on down to North and South Carolina on trial and yeah.
So you also went to North and South Carolina to sort of train.
Yeah. Well, Fort Meade, Maryland was most of it.
Fort Meade, Maryland was most of it. A lot of your training, that is.
Yeah.
Is that where you learned how to shoot artillery?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then, see, you've got your hat there. It says 1941 to 1945.
Yeah.
World War II veteran.
Yeah.
And so you go into, so then you learned how to do artillery. What did you do in North and South Carolina?
Well, we practiced. You and us and the artillery there.
Practiced in North and South Carolina.
Yeah. In North Carolina, too.
Mm-hmm.
And up in Pennsylvania, some.
Pennsylvania too.
Oh, you go up and shoot a little,
Uh-huh.
practice cannon. Yeah, everything went pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And so now we go to D-Day.
Sir,
The attack on Omaha Beach.
yeah. Whole beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you lost your cannons.
Yeah.
But you, as I understand it, you didn't lose any men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Once you were in France, what did you do after the invasion?
After Major.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we lost the gun going in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got my gun back.
Got you
I was
back?
a heavy artillery.
Uh-huh.
I got it going. I got them right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We went in on low time
Mm-hmm.
and got started on high tide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty rough. But made it. I never got hurt anyway. Lucky I didn't. We lost. I'd guess 1,000 men trying to make a beachhead there on the World War II. But we made it. Went on. But I wouldn't want to make another. Oh. But I think I've been two of them.
You've been to what?
1941. We got a little training down at what president had a president for the young men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was glad to go in and give you some training too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your Army gave you some education, some more training than you would have gotten otherwise.
Yeah.
I understand they offered to let you stay in the Army.
Yeah. Well, they asked me, did I want to go to Japan or something to sign up? I said, no, I wanted my paper. And I said, well, if you don't want it, we ain't going to make you take it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want it. I had about all I wanted.
Mm-hmm. And then, so you came back.
Yeah. So I didn't get it. England was a pretty good place. Yeah. Well, when we went over, we went on the Queen Mary.
Mm-hmm.
We come back over here, come on a different ship when we got there in France when we come back. Anchor ship, I believe. And they got that Queen Mary over in Oregon, I reckon. I ain't been there, but museum.
Yeah, well, I've been on the west coast where the Queen Mary is.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. Beautiful ship now.
yeah. Well, when we was going over, I didn't get in the bottom of that big ship.
You didn't?
I had a blanket and I got out on the port side.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big ship. We didn't have any escort. Today. And there's a English ship, kind of, well, I think it's small ship, but it looked pretty good. We had hit there that morning, and that Queen Mary raised a little. And I looked out there, and there come part of it on the left side and part on the right side, and killed about 32 men, I think, around there. Yeah.
Gee, I'd heard
Yeah,
I'd heard it killed even more than that.
yeah. And that was before the war, before we hit the war.
Before you got into the war.
Yeah,
And then you had a lot of time in England before you went to France.
yeah. Yeah. There's so much happened. I forget a right smart of it.
Well, I understand that. What was it like? What were you doing in England? You were training?
Sure.
Were you training in England?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exercising every day?
Sure.
Exercising every day?
That was good to us there. I seen all them big boys. Eisenhower was one.
Eisenhower, you got to see him.
Yeah. Yeah, he had picked that for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get to see other generals? Other generals? Did you get to see Winston Churchill?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think Truman fired one of the great corporals over.
Where did you live when you were in England? Did you live in a tent in England?
Yeah.
You lived in tents? Were they wall tents or a pup tent?
Yeah.
You lived in tents.
Yeah.
What was the food? What you ate?
Yeah.
What was the food like?
Well, English beef, English, something I didn't like too good. But we went in on D-Day and we got a little short. A boy killed a yearling there and skinned him out. Had plenty of food there for a while, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the food was pretty good on D-Day. Well, at least one thing was good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It tasted pretty good, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And was short of ammunition a lot of times.
Short of ammunition, eh?
Later on,
Mm-hmm.
women is working back here in the state.
Mm-hmm.
They are doing a good job sending ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I helped build the arsenal
Mm-hmm.
there, but it's mud and putting up buildings. And I believe I was getting 37.5 cents an hour.
Building the,
Yeah, it's kind of low, but I was glad to do something.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Was this before the war or after the war?
yeah,
After the war? Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, them women is really working back here,
Mm-hmm.
working the factories. Yeah.
These lights are something, aren't they?
Sure.
These lights are something, aren't they?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, you can see yourself there on the TV. You're over, I have to do it like this to see where you are, but you can see yourself up there.
Yeah.
And the camera's right there. And it's all for you.
Oh,
And we've got, they call this the green room. Now, people out there see what you see there. You see that's blue with the blue background here, but we're in the green room. And they tell me that the reason they do that is because most people's clothing, very few people have any green clothing. And so that contrast, and they can you can see some stars right behind you right there. If you take a look at there, you can see and that's those stars.
yeah.
And we've got your daughter here and your caretaker, and they're sitting right down there. And we're very grateful to have you here. We're grateful to have you here.
Yeah.
And I understand you married your girlfriend finally.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And her name?
Her name, that's Mayetta on the right.
That's Mayetta. Yeah, I know that. But
And that's the lady that stays with me.
the other
We
one.
got a few over there to make up a bed. I never was good at making up a bed.
And you were in the Army. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But anyway, you said you worked at the arsenal. You were a guard, if I understand correctly?
Yeah.
And, I was watching some TV yesterday, and they talked about that ship that you saw, part of it on this side and part of it on the right side. And they said that Queen Mary split that thing, cut it like butter.
Yeah.
And you were there and saw it. And I think it was a Curacao. Does that sound right? You remember the name of is that the right name of the ship?
Uh-huh.
And it was, they didn't talk about it much in World War II in the newspapers, but they talked about it later.
Yeah.
But you were lucky. You got to go over there on the ship, and did you ever get seasick? Did you ever get seasick on the ship?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I was on a ship one time out in the middle of the Sargasso Sea, and it had a round bottom on the ship, and I traveled by rail because that's where I was quite a bit. But if I remember correctly, when you were up, you stayed up there on the top,
Yeah,
and that's the best place to be to avoid getting seasick, because you're there and you're seeing the ocean at the same time, and that you're going back and forth, and so you've got your bearings on you. You're still doing pretty good, by the way. I saw you come in here. And you've still got your bearings along pretty well, keeping your balance.
yeah.
And these women are taking good care of you, aren't they?
I've got a little bed here and there. This is good.
Uh-huh.
I think them big guns, we fired a lot of them.
And that
Or
did your
two.
hearing.
It lifts you up about it.
Lifts you up?
Huh?
It said it lifts you up? It
Yeah.
lift you up when you...
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked them, though. You could watch that shell go out the front of them things towards or the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they done a lot of things that I didn't want to do a lot of times. Over in England, they had a women's camp for men. And it wasn't long till that was put away. that old boy, he seen that, he knew it was wrong, and he stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that you did, you used to, well, you've read your Bible quite a bit.
Yeah.
A lot of people had devotions in your house.
Yeah.
That probably kept you going until, it's kept you going, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was reading in the newspaper that you would turn off the TV at 9 o'clock every night,
Yeah.
and you had devotions. And your daughter, Mayetta, told us that a lot of people, the neighborhood kids would come over, and they had to be there at the devotions too. And that a lot of those people still remember those devotions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of things happened over that I've seen. I don't want to see no more of it. I can keep promising. But I'm thankful to get through like I was. 101 birthday, 99, 100.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes time seems to speed
Well,
by, doesn't it?
You learn to take care of what you could. It's dangerous anyway. But you get the job done. A lot of boys is tickled there. A lot of them was in the grave. I seen where they found a crystal lake somewhere. I don't know where it's at. And they told the people to stay out, but they would stay out. People, they ought to get their heads in and find out what's going on. And it might endanger them.
Yeah, is that down in Mexico?
Was it Mexico?
Yeah, there's some the biggest crystals that you can ever see, gypsum crystals down there, and poisonous gas.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get hold of it. I was watching TV there, and they warned the people to stay away from it. They didn't do it. Oh, well, there's a lot of things I don't believe anyone will ever understand at all.
Yep.
There's a whole lot yet to uncover.
So you're still watching TV and still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Nearly 100 years old. Well, I understand you found some guns in a room in France.
Sir.
It says you found some guns in a room in France.
Yeah, I shipped some guns home. We tore down a building, artillery. There's a building about half fist size over here. And the old fella over there says, I'm looking for guns. We knocked it about down, but it wasn't all down. And I told him, I said, I'm looking for them too. And I went in there. There's a little room there, it had a little door on it. And there's a door and a little latch up there. And I pulled that latch, 7 guns in there.
7 guns.
I got them all. He said, I ought to pull my rank on you. He said, no, I'll do better than that. If you get you a box and pack them guns in it, says we can't fight a war with them things. It wasn't more 22 rifle, shotgun, double barrel, over and under, 16 gauge, high powered. Good bunch of it. I give them to the boys, all of them people, for Christmas. Yeah, I decided I'd had enough going. I got one year left.
But you gave them to your sons for,
Huh?
you gave the guns away otherwise.
Yeah, I had a boy. One of them died there a few days ago.
Yeah, it was Roger, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had liver trouble. And I was kind of afraid that I may get it, but I ain't so far.
Well,
Praise
that's good.
the Lord. Yeah.
Okay. I've got to ask about your Esther's, you and Esther. Your Esther.
Yeah, Esther May. And that other there is a lady cooks for me a lot of times.
Yeah, but I was thinking about your wife, Esther.
Yeah, I have about 3 of them.
3
I'll
wives?
exchange one today and one tomorrow, one next day.
Well, that's nice.
If I need them,
Uh-huh.
Mayetta a lot of time.
Uh-huh.
She works there for intimacy.
Well, I was thinking about Mayetta's mother. And as I understand, you married, you dated Esther, and she married Mr. Dawson.
Yeah. 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 I knew the Dawson. That's one that died there 3 or 4 days ago. Good. Well, when the war ended,
Mm-hmm.
one of the boys was in the Army. And the other boys, the ones, they had a preacher. And a lady was 109, I believe, when she died.
Well, I was thinking about your wife, Esther.
Yeah.
As I understand it, in World War II, Esther's husband, Mr. Dawson,
Yeah.
died.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Esther was pregnant with Roger. And you had dated Esther before she got married.
Yeah. Far as I know, I didn't. Yeah. Yeah. Heard of.
And after the war, and you dated Esther again.
Oh, yes. Things that happen that beyond me a lot of times, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I go through it all, and we headed out to another place there, northern, I believe it's northern.
Was this in England, or was this in England?
Huh?
Was this in England?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I sure do appreciate you coming here.
Yeah, them women raised me up a little.
They raised you up, eh?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes now they look younger than you are, but they still
Yeah.
raised you up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the fact they raised you up, and they've kept you going.
Yeah.
And we thank you for coming here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.